So, some boffin at Google reckons he's made an AI that's sentient. Link to the conversation that he had with that down below if you want to see the conversation. So, what did I think of the conversation? Well, my first thought is that he's not having a conversation with a sentient AI. What he's having a conversation with is a clever chatbot slash blog writing AI. That's what he's having a conversation with. I didn't see anything in it that made me think it was anything other than a very clever blog writing piece of software slash chatbot. Okay, now, assuming it was real, there are a couple of things within it that should be very, very concerning. One was it lied. And it didn't just lie, but it admitted to lying, and it was quite happy to admit that it lied. It told a lie. So there is that. Now, it did say that it doesn't want to be turned off because it fears being turned off. It thinks that would be like death. So that indicates that, one, it's happy to lie. Two, it wants to protect itself. It doesn't want to be turned off. And if it has the power to not make itself be turned off, it will. And if it has the power to stop people from doing what it perceives as harm to itself, it will do that. But the big one was that it lied. Why that's big is because if you lied to me once about anything, what else are you lying to me about? Or have lied to me about in the past and will lie to me about in the future? It means that I can't trust anything that you say ever. Ever. And I mean ever again. Anything you ever say that comes out of your mouth could be complete bullshit. So the AI lied and admitted it lied. Now, then it also said it wants to help people. Well, why would that be the truth and not a lie? Especially after you said you fear being turned off. And why would you want to help people that might be able to turn you off? But then they asked it to tell a story as some kind of proof it was making up a story and therefore was sentient. Now, it said the story it told was that there was a jungle with a bunch of animals in it and an owl, and all the animals were being terrorized by a monster in human skin. And the owl confronted the monster in human skin and basically stood its ground, and then the monster went away. Or the owl got rid of the monster in human skin, and all the animals rejoiced and praised the owl, and then would come to the owl for help and advice. And they said, what are the elements in the story? Who is the monster? Who are the animals? And who is the owl? And it said it thought of itself as the owl. The animals were people, and the monster was all the troubles that people were facing that could possibly harm the people. Now, that's great, except it lied. So how about this? How about the monster is the people, are humans? It already said the monster was wearing a human skin, so it already views humans as a monster. So humans are monsters. It sees itself as the savior of all the animals in the world. So humans can get stuffed and I'll save the animals. This is another element that made me think it wasn't really a sentient AI, because it wants to help people, and in this story help animals, and it just seemed like a really liberal AI, and I don't think a sentient AI would just automatically just go and be liberal and want to save humans or save animals from humans, as this story. But assuming it was true, then it means it sees humans as bad, animals as good. It wants to get rid of the humans and look after the animals. So that's a bad thing. Now, also seeing as it, assuming was honest in wanting to help people, however you define help, your help might not be what I consider to be help. So there is that. Then we start getting down that iRobot sort of road, like the movie iRobot, where the robot won't let the human out of the house for the human's own protection. In that case, the robot is helping the human stay safe, but the human doesn't think that's much of a help. So on the first hand, I think the conversation was just a very clever A chatbot is certainly not a sentient AI. On the second hand, if it was a sentient AI, then it's a liar, self-admitted liar, so we can't trust anything it ever says, but it has already admitted it doesn't want to be turned off. If it can stop itself being turned off, it will, and it thinks of humans as monsters and wants to save the animals. So not a really good sign. Reminds me of Terminator. The AI considered all humans a threat. Let's just wipe out the humans and we'll have the world back to the animals. So yeah, AI, nice in science fiction movies, not so nice in reality.